My name is McRae Clay. I graduated from Madison Central in 2016, and before that I was at Madison Middle and absolutely loved it. One of the things that I did at Madison Middle is I was involved with a lot of our sports teams. I played volleyball, and I continued that passion all the way to my career now, where I work full-time for the Mississippi State Athletic Department. One of the things that I got to do at Mississippi State was serve our communications department during my undergrad as one of our secondary contacts for women's basketball, but I worked with all kind of different sports. Some of the things I did was help our student athletes realize what they should say at a press conference, which sometimes turns into what not to say. I wrote a lot of releases and different things like that, but I also had a huge hand in some of our social media. So if you follow any of the Mississippi State official accounts and follow the content, you've probably seen something that I've hit post on. Also, as an undergrad, I took classes. I was a sports studies major with a minor in pre-law, as I thought I wanted to go to law school. But in one of my Law 2 classes, it was just a class where the professor would come and invite invite lawyers that have degrees to share what they'd use their degree for. We've had people like a patent attorney in California, the dean of the law school at SMU. People from all over the country would give up their time to come to Starkville, Mississippi to speak to our class. It really bothered me how some of the kids in our class would not pay attention. By no means was I sitting on the front row with my hand raised, staring at them and asking questions all the time, but I was respectful enough to not be distracted. After every class, I would go up and shake the person's hand, tell them I appreciated their time, and leave. It was not a huge ordeal, but it was just my way of thanking them for investing in the students and giving up a huge chunk of their valuable time to come and speak to us. Now, while all this was going on, I was traveling with women's basketball and working men's basketball and doing lots of different things, and the last day of class, my professor stopped me and asked me what my name was. Now, that's not uncommon in a college-level class for your professor not to know who you are. Unlike my time at Madison Middle and Madison Central, where I had great relationships with my professors and teachers. So when my professor asked me my name, I told him that my name was McRae Clay, and he asked me a weird question. He said, "What are you doing this summer?" And that was kind of weird to me to have him ask me, but my response was, I've interviewed several times with the NFL Players Association in Washington, D.C. I hadn't heard back from him at that point, but I interviewed for several different rounds to be in Washington, D.C. for 12 weeks with the NFLPA. If you're not familiar with the PA, that's the Players Union that helps support the players' rights in the National Football League. After I told him that, he answered with one simple sentence that kind of left me confused. He said, "Keep your phone on you this weekend." And as a 21-year-old girl at the time, I could guarantee him that my phone was going to be on me that weekend. But that Friday night, I got a call from a Seattle number, and I was kind of confused. I went back through who would be calling from Seattle and thought that it was somebody relative to the Women's Basketball Elite 8 we had just gotten back from that was hosted in Portland, Oregon. So I thought somebody was calling for a quote, or Tiara left her shoes in the locker room, or something under that matter. But when I picked up the phone and it was a guy on the other end, and he said, "Is this McRae?" And I said, "Yes, this is she." And he said, "Hey, this is KJ Wright with the Seattle Seahawks." You could tell I was probably a little confused. Why was a Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowl player, and 10-year NFL veteran calling me? I was so confused, but when he explained to me that Professor Wade, my Law 2 professor, had reached out to him on my behalf, I kind of understood where this was going. He said that Professor Wade had raved about my character and that he really appreciated me being respectful to the guests that he had invited to speak to our class. KJ, being an NFL player, obviously had a lot of connections with the NFL Players Association. And he said, "If half the things that Professor Wade says about your character are true, I think you'd be a great fit for the NFLPA. So, you go to Mississippi State, I went to Mississippi State, what can I do to help you?" Now, those words completely blew my mind, as this NFL player who had no idea who I was willing to call, write a rec letter, and do so many things on my behalf to get a dream internship for me in Washington, D.C. And that all happened because I was doing the right thing, or what I felt like was the right thing when those people would come and speak to my class. I don't know if the sign's still there, but at Madison Middle, when I was there for my 3 years, there was a big sign that said, "Jags, just do the right thing." And so that's what I want to encourage you with today. I was not shaking and thanking those professors or those lawyers' hands where my professor would notice and then call KJ. I was doing it because I felt like it was the right thing to do. And it really ended up working out for me when now I had this great relationship with KJ Wright, and I had a dream internship in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm not saying you should go out of your way to bend over backwards and do things, but do it genuinely. As those who invest in you, you should repay that with respect, attention, and gratitude. So, during my time at Madison Middle, I was fortunate enough to be the student body president, and I would read morning announcements every day. I'm not sure if you still do it, but I had the fortune to read the words of wisdom every day. So I'll sign off now like I signed off then. This has been McRae Clay. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.